Good evening and welcome to the June 20th, 23rd ARPA meeting. We do have a quorum present, and we have our guest, Mr. Shea from the Recreation Committee, here to talk about repair and renovate 2 courts and LED lighting. Great. I don't see that here, but... So, I think we had questions on start with the LED lighting. I don't have those notes in front of me, but as far as using solar, in conjunction with those, or in place of those, or?
So I have not looked into solar for the field lighting. Honestly, I don't think solar would be the way to go for the amount of lighting that those fields need. I think LED, from everything I've looked at online, LED is the most efficient way to light a baseball and softball field. Solar, I couldn't find any fields that were lit by solar. I looked, there could be some. I did an internet search. I couldn't find any fields that were lit by solar. So, I mean, I think LED is the way to go. We got pretty good rebates to go with the LED. It's going to cost 50 to 60% less than what is being paid now.
Okay. Anyone have any questions, Ken?
I think we're just talking about replacing the bulbs that you have, correct? You're not installing new lights, or are you installing new lights?
Installing new lights.
You are, okay.
Yep.
Good?
No, I'm good.
Ken?
Well,
So on the LED...
I should have brought one of the bulbs. The bulbs are like this. They're enormous.
it's gonna reduce the electric bill as well, right? They're more efficient, right, the LEDs?
Oh yeah, by probably half. I mean,
Right. So there's some savings there as well.
some savings and hopefully, I mean, talking to the treasurer of Little League, they were talking about not being able to run some programs down there because of the cost
Oh, well.
of the lighting.
Really?
Does anyone want to make a recommendation or motion?
We're gonna vote on it now?
Well, I'm just curious, though, you're still at the $80,000, or is that changed? I know that there's been fluctuation in a lot of the requests from the time,
I like to call it fine tuning of,
tweaking,
tweaking of quotes.
tweaking the quotes. I think, if I remember correctly, there are a number of things that were tweaked, but this is where we started anyway, with the 80, and it's been, we haven't met in, what, 2 months now? Month and a half?
Month and a half?
So I drift.
80,414, right?
That's what I have right here, yeah. Yeah, and I was just curious if that had changed at all.
Is it
Okay,
just,
so
That
yeah,
went
it says
down in one of
here.
the more recent conversations that we
Yeah,
had,
it did go down.
because when we went out and looked for rebates and things like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, I see that you had, John, you had put in new quotes coming in from consultant, and that the polls were already there, so basically,
Right.
yeah. So we're looking at,
So I have a quote for the materials of $48,115. And a quote for labor, which is at prevailing rates
Right.
at $43,899.
So it's gone up.
Going up, yeah.
48,115 and 43,899. I believe when I gave you the original, I didn't include prevailing wages for labor.
Yeah, and I think,
It was
well,
pretty much,
in that year, everything has changed.
Double.
Mhm.
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
Double.
I know lumber has gone up dramatically and then down, so.
So we're at $92,000 now.
Mm.
It's just Church Street, right? Or,
That's lighting for Church Street and the courts.
Okay.
So the baseball field at Church Street, the softball field at Church Street, the basketball courts, and also the pickleball.
John,
So the,
could we like, just kind of, before we vote on this, before we vote on anything new, just establish where we are with the amounts that we've already, I won't say approved, but with what we've already sent along to the board? Because we have a limited amount of funds, correct?
we are way under that.
We are, okay.
Yeah, the funds were allocated for what these, for all the ones we had in front of us.
We have the money for it.
Yeah.
Okay, all
So,
right,
and we've reduced like the turf and all, you know,
Yeah, I mean, that
quite a
was-
bit,
we
right.
did recommend a couple, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So this, I think there's plenty of money.
Okay, so we're within a,
For that
a
extra,
budget,
little
so to
extra
speak.
12 grand or whatever.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a problem.
Just trying to lock this thing so I don't keep going back. Whatever button it is, I can't find it. Yeah, I think money-wise, we're nowhere near
Okay,
what we started to.
At some point, we can do that, but.
yeah, and the longer we wait, the more we'll be likely to go over.
it's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, quite a few of the projects have come down.
That's right.
I mean, obviously, the big one was the turf,
Right.
Mm-hmm,
100 grand something savings there, right?
800
Oh, 800, I mean, yeah.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
a big one.
at least.
Yeah.
And we just
right.
thought, we gotta get figure out what it is now for the drainage thing. Need to work with Mr. Haynes for that. Does that address your concern, Ken?
Oh, yeah, I just, I threw that out there only because, again, we haven't met in a while, I didn't know where we stood.
And I think, when we see Melanie, will probably give us a write down of the
Mhm.
day number
Mm,
when we get her.
right.
So any motions, please?
Yeah, make a motion to approve the lighting. I mean, I'll recommend.
Second?
All right, so, motion, ET,
For the new amount of 92K.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, so motion to, recommend this project at $92,014, made by Glenn, second by Ken. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass 4-0. All right, the second one was repair and renovate repurpose and renovate the two courts on Church Street. So, a few questions that we had at our last meeting were related to pickleball. Is there a projection on usage? Will there be leagues? Is there history to support the usage? Is it possible that this is a fad? Request is still $146,000 though, right?
Yes.
And so do you want to address those?
Is pickleball same, is the court similar to tennis?
Smaller,
Smaller, okay.
yep, but similar.
Yeah, so if people stop playing pickleball, could they play tennis there?
Certainly, what we've proposed are removable nets,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
it could be used for anything, really.
Right.
As far as pickleball, I mean, I have some statistics. you know, pickleball participation has grown over 158% in the last 3 years. It's the fastest growing sport in America for the past 3 years. There are currently 10,320 pickleball courts in the United States. From August 21 to August 22, 14% of Americans played pickleball at least once. 8.5 million people played 8 times or more. I was able to get a listing of, it's called Every Pickleball Court in Massachusetts. The list, the page, it's, you know, I can leave this with you guys, it's 13 pages long.
So that'd be, I mean,
I believe the want and the need is there. As far as will there be leagues, I assume there may be leagues. It's something that the rec commission would have to figure out how to do the scheduling. We don't want fights over the courts. Is there a history to sport usage? You know, I not in East Bridgewater.
Right.
But from everyone I talk to, they can't wait to get those courts down there. Basketball courts and the pickleball courts.
Yeah.
okay, so from the Recreation Commission perspective, you see a lot of demand and
Yes, yeah. I don't have statistics to back it up, but I mean,
any other questions, Glenn?
No, okay.
and like I said, these are movable courts.
Yeah,
So that,
that's important too. I mean, it can be repurposed, you know?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can use it for, so.
Well, you know, that's a good point. Would it be of benefit to start off with the size of a tennis court and kind of like morph it into a pickleball court? So if pickleball does go out, you'd have tennis courts there?
well, if so we plan on putting 3 pickleball courts there, and that's not even going to take up all the space that's available. So if the pickleball fad
No, dies out.
dies out, you can repurpose that area for tennis.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, you've
It's
got
big
a
enough.
surface
Yes.
Yeah.
that's gonna be painted, or it's gonna be lined
Whatever.
for
Pickleball.
pickleball.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna have to readjust, or you're not gonna have to adapt the surface. The surface is gonna be there.
Right.
Surface, okay.
That's kind of what I was wondering.
Removable nets.
Yeah,
and
see, I don't
stuff.
know enough about it. I don't know what the surfaces are like or whatever. Yeah, okay, that's good.
But I'm all for recreation stuff for the kids and all that, and place to get out for the townspeople, so.
Especially if we choose.
That's what this is all about, I think, this kind of money, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Well, you know, and just, you know, from my perspective, I'm looking at all these numbers and everything is really, they kind of blow your mind. There's so many dollars involved here, but if it's being given to us
Right.
for purposes like recreation or whatever, benefit the town, then, you know, there's really no objection, I guess.
No objection.
And the basketball courts are almost, they're almost ready to go. The paving's done.
Yeah.
The poles are in.
Mhm.
Just need the company to come in and seal it and paint the courts on it. And again, that was all done with money that the rec commission received in the capital budget and a state earmark.
Oh,
So we've used that money for the basketball courts, and the additional money we're asking for is for the pickleball.
So, how much exactly are you looking for the pickleball?
Well, they're looking for us for $146,000 for the ARPA.
I thought on the notes,
And the other, like John says, the other stuff they already had money for from the state and from something else, right?
Right.
Yes,
here it says looking for 104K.
146.
146 is what I have.
One of your
That might
notes,
be a
on
misprint.
one of your spreadsheets.
What's the date on that one?
213, so
I
that's,
have 5/20,
Oh, 5/20.
5/2,
okay,
which says it's still 146.
okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I-
146 here.
That's
just
what I mean,
one
it's
of the
changed
notes,
over,
yeah.
over,
I
the
forget
time
what
that
the
we've been-
total number was, but it was,
Total number was $241,694.
That's the one. I get that one too.
So the additional 146 was for the pickleball courts, security camera, fencing, landscaping.
Dan, you have any questions or comments?
No, I think pickleball is fantastic recreation. I just saw one of my neighbors did spray painted his driveway for it just a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
You know, so I said, oh, like he'll be happy
Coming
to see
here
it
for money.
if these come in. Yeah,
Would he mind if there's people from the town over there?
just
and
wanted to
played?
go over and just,
Try it out.
And I know a lot of people whose golf game has gone downhill that they're looking for another hobby.
Yeah?
Me being one
It's a
of them.
loaded statement, though.
Is it common with the name John? All right, do we want to take any action here?
Take a vote. I'll make a motion to recommend.
There you go, second.
Second KR. Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Aye. 1-0.
John's batting 1,000. Look at that.
We're doing pretty good.
Thank you, John.
Thank you guys for everything. Well, hopefully, light at the end of the tunnel here.
yeah, all right.
Yeah, really.
Appreciate you coming.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
you. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
See you.
All right,
I was looking at the project. I thought we voted on the premium pay.
we did vote on the premium pay. It's in here. They were coming back. And when I wrote that, in the back of my mind, I thought that they had said something. And then I realized this morning that, yeah, that we voted to not recommend
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to see it. Is it back
So-
on the table?
Hmm?
Is it back on the table?
It can be if we want it to be. I mean, that's one of the things I was gonna ask about tonight,
Okay.
after I realized that we had already voted one way or the other, whether we want to reopen it, invite them back, see if the new information makes any difference. And if it does, we can reopen it at that point.
What's the new information?
Well, they were gonna check with other departments and other towns to see how they handle things, and, I mean,
Okay.
I don't, but they haven't called me to say that they wanna come back or
So
to
I think-
rethink it. I'm not sure they actually know that we voted to not recommend it.
Yeah, I think that we talked about that, like kind of opening up Pandora's box there. Like, well, if this
I know.
union is getting it, so then,
That's why I don't know what,
That's how, that was a big part of the
yeah,
discussion.
so,
I don't know what
Down
new
the road.
information is gonna change that.
yeah, I don't think we should open it back up. That's my opinion.
You know, we're always kind of worried about other towns, what everyone else is doing, but I mean, what's that all about? I don't know. Like, why don't we just figure out what we wanna do, you know?
I think we had asked them
Okay.
during one of our discussions.
I missed that, so
I think it was more like guidance, right? To see if we knew what other towns were doing, it would kind of fill in the blanks for us, because we were a little fuzzy on where that was going, from
And
from
the
what I
thing-
remember.
Right, I think where you were going is, you know, if we found out, say, that town ABC is doing it, you can ask them why they did it, whichever way they did it.
Well,
And
if
then
it's,
the whys would give us more
well,
insight
if it's the
into.
same situation, right? Because here only one union applied. Other towns, did they all apply, or
Right, well,
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah, that's what we don't know, yeah.
more information.
it would be easier if they all did, you know what I mean? It would make it a lot easier if all the unions were together on that. It would be simple to go with that, you know? Which would have made our job easier. We would
Mm.
probably
I mean, where we are now is we've decided to not recommend it at this point in time. You know, they wanna come back, I mean, they're obviously welcome, they're part of the public, so
Sure, yeah, okay. All right,
just leave that at that.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing, Kay's Trucking, we don't have Melanie here, and Gigi, we're talking with them, so we really have nothing to add different on that, or I have nothing. So we'll just pass over that.
I thought there was gonna be a deadline with Case Trucking.
And it-
Yeah, I do have it in my notes there. If no info received by next meeting, we will vote
That's
no.
what I remember.
Yeah.
We don't know.
But
Yeah,
yeah, but
2
then
weeks,
again,
right, we said
Melanie
2
and
weeks.
Gigi
Forever,
out here,
now it's
so
been a month and a
maybe
half
they
since
did
then.
send
Yeah.
more info, we just don't know.
So,
I would assume that if they're not sending us information, they either don't have it, or they don't want to send it to us.
Yeah.
we don't know if they've sent, they may have sent it to Melanie or Gigi.
Oh, okay, so
Right,
that's.
so we
what
don't know.
We can hope like-
So that's why we'll pass over that for
Yeah.
tonight. The signs,
How about turf, we don't to talk about that, no, just need updated request.
I talked to John Haynes earlier today.
Yeah.
And he's waiting for more information from the DPW
Okay,
about, pricing and things like that to do the work that they still wanna get done. So the signs for the town, I talked to Brian Kiley a couple of times, and he's gone back and looked at stuff, and kind of, bottom line is, and I put his email to me
right,
at the
Mm.
bottom there,
Mhm.
and,
he's trying,
it's just kind of, we wanna move forward, we need to unbundle the three things to begin with.
Right.
And even the two school signs, I think, are both for over $50,000.
why is he trying to avoid the procurement?
I think he's worried it's gonna cost more, or there's more, what do you call it, overhead with it?
To me, it sounds like a little bit more issue to get, get 3 bids and a little bit more work when you have the procurement guidance, but, so you gotta unbundle it to avoid that, and that's gonna give us a better price?
That was my question on that too.
I'm not
reading that, and I
buying
go,
that.
why would you wanna unbundle it? And you can, potentially get a better price to do all three at
Want any
once.
discount?
Right, that's what I was thinking.
You have to get the quotes, so.
The thing too is the school signs are both over the $50,000 ones.
Right,
So
Right.
that has to get sent out.
So they're both
regardless,
gonna be
right?
sent out for procurement anyway, unless they lower their estimate of what it's gonna be, or,
or just
Figure
bundle
out-
them. If
Yeah.
they're going to procurement anyway, bundle them and get
Get one.
a better price.
Do it one time instead of
No.
2 or 3, yeah.
Am I thinking the wrong way here?
um,
Well, maybe what's Brian's
I mean,
position?
the part I think that we're missing talking about and discussing this today is the fact that there's three different things, three different signs, or two different signs, say. The town sign, which was originally, they've been looking for a while,
Mhm.
because when they put in
Right,
the monument, they did away with the original town sign.
right.
And then the planning and the design of the requested sign,
Mhm.
let me move back, requested sign, so I'm not giving you my background time, is to fit in with the decor or the, whatever you wanna call it, the surrounding area around the town hall, so it fits in with the, the years or the history of the town and things like that. So that's one of the reasons they wanna keep that separate, and they've kept the cost down on that one. Anyway, getting all that. The other part that we're concerned about as a committee, listening to not just the three, but all other people over the past weeks is, does it make sense to have a sign here, a sign over there, a sign over there, and then another sign up there, so within a square mile, we have $150,000 worth of signs or more,
Mm.
right? Does that even make sense?
Yeah, right.
And that's one of the things that
To me, it doesn't.
I think as a committee, I have the sense, and I agree with it if I'm wrong, correct me, I agree with them, that we need to think about does it make sense to have all these signs? And one of the problems that I've heard, I haven't really confirmed, is, the town without their sign has looked to put things on the school signs and been told no. So, I think,
Okay.
to me, that's an issue right there.
Great,
Yeah.
great corporation.
So, sign-wise, I mean, that's where we are. I mean, I have faith in Brian Kiley for knowing the best way to go
Right.
about these things.
Mhm.
Right, he's been doing this for a long time, he's a smart guy.
Right.
I don't think he's trying to slough off work, because it's gonna
I know.
be the same for him anyway. So, that's why I kinda put his recommendation out there. If we disagree with that's fine as a group. I mean, that's why we're a group and not one
Right.
or two people. But, to me, I think the key question really is the proximity of all these signs being together, and what good is it doing if I live over on Highland Street?
Right.
And I never come up and down these streets, I'm never gonna see the signs.
Right. That's what I was thinking too, like on the other side near
If you
Washington
live-
Street and all that, I mean.
Right, you live down the end of Pond Street and
Right.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
you coming in, you're never gonna see the signs.
Yeah.
Number two, and this, I don't know how this thought came to me so late in life, but I guess I was never in technology.
Right.
But if you think about it, do you think for a moment that the school doesn't have every text number and email of every kid's house in the town, where whatever they wanted to, information they want to disseminate, they just
They do
gonna,
a
they're
blast.
sending it out
We
anyway?
do, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I was getting that when my
Right,
kids were in
so
school.
it's like, do they really need another $100,000 worth of signs, or? Ah,
I think it's a good point.
They're talking about the central and the middle school, is that what they want to do?
right, because they already have two for the high school.
Right, right.
Which, you know, no redundancy there, but they do have one on Route 18, so that's kind of a lot of traffic area for people coming through town.
Right,
I
right.
don't know if any of them are stopping, but.
What's the number one argument for having individual signs?
Control, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's just, the central school's gonna put up different messages than the middle school, and the high school. I guess it was the logic that I've heard at one time.
Mm.
So if they wanna be able to control that, they don't wanna be putting redundant information on the things, but the redundant part really doesn't play into it, I don't think.
It just seems, I think, the sense I get is that it's a lot of money for, again, so many signs in the same area.
Seems like a nice to have, not a need to have, in my opinion. but-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, like to have
Well,
his
it'd be
need.
awesome to have it, but is it pressing need?
I think you need, well, this is my personal opinion, I think you need one sign anyway for the town hall.
I think the town hall needs.
Yeah, I
it.
think
agree
the
with
town
you.
Yeah.
hall
Yeah.
is something we should do. That's
definitely
my
should have
opinion,
that.
yeah.
And then after
Yeah.
that, you know, can they share? I mean, do they want to share? Is it a turf war? You know, it's like, I don't know.
I'm biting my tongue.
Well, I don't know enough, I don't know any better.
No, it's just, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in the town, you know, if this town had a sign out front, and the school sign went down, would the town say, no, you're not gonna put a message up here?
right,
Hmm.
right.
I don't think so. I mean, this is the way it is. I mean, there are other things in the school-town relationship related to property and what happens during different things, say elections or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just untenable, in my opinion, but it is the way it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we wanna do anything on signs, or just kinda just let it simmer, or, you know, perhaps people will see this meeting and come in and voice some opinions, or we just take a vote and recommend or not recommend, or I think we need more information before we do.
Could we
that.
recommend one and withhold judgment on the other
Oh,
two?
If it's
absolutely.
unbundled, we can vote on the town one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're all- I
Absolutely.
think we all have
Yeah,
fairly good opinion
I
on that.
agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's like, you know, I think, well, I feel, and I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I feel that that one is necessary.
We should have talked to John when he was here,
Hey, just,
Get him back.
about the school ones, yeah.
I mean, just to be clear, each one of these signs is a separate request.
Right,
So I mean, we
So
can
they're
vote
not
on,
bundled together.
so we could do that,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we could take action on the town and leave the schools.
Well, you know, the other question about the school signs too is, are we getting any, have we even requested, is it a point where we should request what the town feels about 3 schools having signs? You know, so in other words, we're not just doing this in a vacuum. What does the board feel about that? I mean, if we recommended the central school and the middle school, do they feel it's worthwhile?
That's their role, I mean, they have to
Yeah,
look
I
at our
mean,
recommendations and make a decision themselves.
yeah, so they want us to recommend or not recommend,
They
and then
can-
they'll take
Yeah,
it from
See
there.
if they
so,
agree with us or
yeah.
not.
Yeah, okay.
You mean the board being the select board?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any feedback from them about having 4 signs within a 3/4 of a mile radius, you know?
I think their position is just to wait and see what we do.
Okay,
If we
yeah,
recommend
yeah.
it, they don't have to approve
Let
it.
it play out.
If we
Yeah,
don't
okay.
recommend it, I don't know what their action would be, but.
Probably nothing, you know? Right? Doesn't make it out of committee, maybe it doesn't get to them, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think even if we, when we don't recommend something, it still goes to them, and they can approve it
They can
over,
override it,
without
okay.
our recommendation.
Yeah.
All right, well, then
That's my understanding, just the way
that's
the whole
it, their prerogative, yeah,
Yeah.
ARPA thing works, but.
okay.
Well, I mean, do you want to just, move on to town,
I'll make a motion to recommend the town sign,
the town hall, yeah?
town hall sign.
And I'll second it. And that's the lowest price one too, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, sign. Motion. GT, second. KR. To recommend.
Just a point of interest, I guess, at this juncture. I think people who have, I don't know about you guys, if you have kids in the schools, my kids have already gone through the school, so
Mine too.
it may not, I won't say be as important to me, that's not a good phrase, but it may be more important to people who have kids in these schools.
Right.
So just to throw that out there as a consideration.
Well, the thing with the social media and all that, I mean, it's way more information at their
Yeah.
fingertips for the younger
Yeah.
parents than
Yeah.
it was when our kid, when your kids are going through, and mine just finished, but, I mean, they get blasted on all the social media, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so much easier. And text, like you said, blast text goes out to everybody, so.
Yeah, it's like-
I don't know what they're trying to communicate that it's so important, that they need a sign to do it. And then how many people go through, how many people go through the town and see it? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, is
Not everyone
it's a
drops a cue.
small percentage, I think, of the population that drives by these signs that they have now, or drives up and down Central Street.
Right.
I mean,
So
if
if
you
I'm not
didn't have
coming
to, you
here,
wouldn't want them.
That's exactly right.
drive by those buildings unless I'm coming here for this meeting, or coming here to renew a dog license or something of that,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I go by the high school sign, that's about it,
yeah, exactly, ditto, yeah.
All right, so, we have a motion, to recommend the town sign.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Like,
All right, and, so I think as far as, what do you call it, requests, that's all we were gonna talk about tonight. The other thing is, we should have talked about it first probably, because I've already screwed it up. It's, the minutes. So we kind of haven't been doing a good job on our minutes. And, so the last minutes that they've had that we've approved are from January 17th. So, where is my? So I kind of went through the minutes and kind of looking at what we've done, and, I'll take, it's probably my fault what's not getting done, because it's my job to make sure that the minutes get taken. So I came in here with a decided focus on doing it right. The first thing you do when the secretary's not here is you assign someone to take the minutes. As you know, I haven't assigned anyone yet. So, but, so like, and for most of the meetings that we don't have minutes for, I have my notes that will kind of act as minutes that we can put together. I'll just put it together. But, so essentially I've gone through, all of what we have, and I didn't make copies of this, but just kind of a quick chart saying the ones that have been approved. So we got, January 31st. I think we didn't have, enough people anyway, so there was no meeting. So if there's no meeting, not in a quorum, we don't really need minutes. January 7th, we had 6 people who could vote, and those meetings were approved on April 18th. 2/13, the meetings were approved on (2/28). 2/22, and 7 people approved on, the meetings were approved on 4/18, and we did approve the 2/7 meetings that day, so we don't need to go back to that anyway. April 1st, we're okay, meetings were approved on 3/7. March 7th has not been approved. And 3/21, it was approved on 4/18, 3/28 was approved on 4/18. 3/1 meeting, we had no quorum, no votes. 4/11, we had no quorum, no votes. 4/18 meeting, we're okay, has not been approved. And 6/1 meeting, no, the 5/2 meeting, we're okay, but there were no minutes available, but I think we had, no, we did have a quorum, but we have no minutes available for it. So that's one that I can use my notes to make the.
I did some minutes for one of those meetings. Did you get mine? I'll check mine. I'll send it to you again, make sure.
Yeah, we do have, your meetings minutes are in there, and I
Okay.
went through them.
Okay.
I sent, I don't remember which date it was, but I took minutes one time. I don't,
John, we also have recorded versions of our meetings.
Right.
So if
I
you
mean,
had
we
to, you
could
could go
go back
back
to
and
that.
Yeah.
go through them.
Get the votes and stuff, you know, if it's,
Yeah,
Important
yeah,
stuff,
anything important, is there.
That's true, but that's a lot of time, and
Yeah, I know,
Right.
a lot of dead air.
if you have notes, that's probably enough, you know.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
So, just, I talked to, I think it was Michelle today, told her we were gonna talk about it tonight, and made her no promise, but she wants them when we can get them. But there are some that we can send that we have that she hasn't gotten, they're all approved and everything, so
Right.
that'll keep her happy for a while, and then we can, I'll do what I can with what I have to,
I'll make a
close up
list
the
of what we need
rest.
to approve. Next meeting, we can just bang them out.
And then if there's any left, we'll go to the TV version.
Okay.
okay. Yeah, I can look this, I know I sent it, like I said, I don't remember which date it was that I took the minutes, but,
I could go back and tell you about that.
okay, yeah. But I know I sent it. I
No,
know that.
I know, I've got it in there, because I've got the ones that we have. It's just shuffling back through.
Did I
Yeah.
do the 28th? Because maybe not. I think I sent them to Rebecca, and she told me I didn't have to send them to her.
To Michelle,
Well, no, one of the meetings I had sent them to Rebecca,
or to
in
Rebecca?
addition to,
Right,
in
okay.
addition to you,
Right,
and I think she got back to me and said, you don't need to do that to her.
right, so, and Michelle brought that up today, so did you send them to Rebecca? And I think that was usually the way we used to do it, anyway, but I think Rebecca probably just as soon be left out of the loop anyway, for that, I mean, she's got enough
Which paper?
stuff going on, it wasn't a bad word. Right, so that's where we are. I mean, I've just been going through this the past, yesterday and today, trying to figure out where we are on this stuff, but I'm not worried that we can't come up with what we need to come up with.
Right. And we're- That's
Mm.
recording, so, yeah.
And obviously, I'm willing to take responsibility, as you see tonight, I've just put out there that I'm going to assign someone if there's no one here. Tonight wasn't a good night for it, I guess.
We'll start next meeting.
All right?
We'll
So,
implement those new changes.
anything else anyone wants to talk about? Anyone mind to make another motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Aye.
6:39.
That's good.